Namaste yogis, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. So we're going to start on chair shavasana. You want to make sure that your chair is high enough so you can have a 90-degree angle at your knees. And once you get onto your back, you may tie up your legs with a strap or with a scarf or something, just so that they don't go too wide, so that you can get the relaxation part and the alignment part at the same time. You are welcome to have a blanket under the head. If possible, if your hips and your lower back allow, we're gonna ground our back. So let go of your back. Don't put any prop under your lumbar spine. Unless, of course, it's painful, then we just prop up the way you know, whether it's under the tailbone or under the lumbar spine. Otherwise, we're just gonna go plain onto our chair shavasana. Adjust your posture so that you are very comfortable here and you're able to really ground. So start by maybe wiggling your body, shifting side to side until you find your center, relaxing your shoulder blades, bring them together and then allow them to go down. Maybe you elongate your neck. And bring your arms out to the sides, maybe at a T position to get a gentle stretch across the pectoral muscles. Maybe you bring your arms a little higher. So it all depends on your shoulders. So you don't have to open up, but this gesture of opening up, it just gives us that extra prana. It focuses the prana on the upper chest, and we can just allow the lungs to truly expand. You might feel the movement of your ribcage every time you inhale when you extend your arms overhead. But once again, these are only options. If your shoulders don't like that, you can keep your hands by your hips, palms facing up. And once you find your arm position, you're going to bring the awareness down to your feet and relax your toes completely. Relax your foot soles. Relax the top of your feet and ankles. Relax your lower legs. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs, your hamstrings. Relax your buttocks. Notice your hips. You might notice one side of the body pressing more than the other. You can shift and find center, but you might notice that after a few breaths, your body returns to where it was. So we just let gravity take over and we observe what the body is doing, and without trying to force it to do something else, we just observe and let it be. Relax your tummy. Bring the awareness to your lower back. So chances are that your lower back arch is still there for some of you. If you are used to doing chair shavasana often, maybe your back has already released onto the floor. Relax your mid-back and upper back. Notice your chest expanding, the sides of your rib cage. Relax your shoulders, your arms. Relax your hands and allow your fingers to curl naturally into your palms. No tension, no effort, just relaxation. Notice your facial muscles. Relax the muscles around your eyes, around your nose, around your lips. Have a little bit of space between your teeth. Maybe rest your tongue at the roof of the mouth, preventing your jaw from tensing. And then continue following your breath. As your arms are extended, maybe overhead or slightly up, if you brought your arms to this position, try to focus on the bottom of your rib cage. So after that you have connected with the upper chest, start bringing the awareness lower and right at the bottom of the rib cage. Notice that extension of the diaphragm next time you breathe in. And when you breathe out, notice the contraction. Moving, the diaphragm moves up. You can think as a jellyfish. And when you inhale, the jellyfish goes down to the bottom of the ocean, opening up. And as you exhale, think of the jellyfish closing up and rising. This is the movement of your diaphragm. Inhale, that jellyfish moves down and expands, creating space at the bottom of your rib cage so that your lungs can also expand and you can send more oxygen, more prana into the lower lobes of the lungs. When you exhale, think about that jellyfish closing up and moving up, expulsing all the air. Inhale, expand the diaphragm. You're gonna start noticing your tummy expanding too. Exhale, contract and release. We're gonna continue at our own pace. Don't let your mind wander. Observe. Your mind will wander, bring it back to the breath, maybe to your visualization if you're doing one. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. And on your next inhalation, wiggle your toes, fingers, very slowly, very mindfully. Maybe stretch your arms back if it feels right in your body. And release. Bring your hands by your sides and mindfully bring your knees towards the chest. Take the blanket if you have one under your chair and then move the chair out of the way. You may rest your feet on the floor, bring your arms at a T position, and allow your knees to move side to side as you stack your feet, rolling the weight onto the edges of the feet, knee on top of the other, and just go as far as it feels right for your hips. Try to continue to breathe slowly. If it works for your arms and you enjoy the deeper stretch, your shoulders allow for that, you may reach your arms overhead. You'll find that the stretch is a little deeper on the sides. And the next time your knees go towards the right, stay here and breathe. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you're going to place it under the right knee. You can also have a blanket in between the knees, although you have your strap, and we try to keep the knees as close together as possible. Sometimes it's not comfortable. Sometimes we need just a little bit of space. So if that's the case, if that will ease on your hip, go ahead and place it. Bring your arms out to the sides and rest. Maybe turn your head towards the left. Breathe. Scan your body and notice if there are muscles that are still tensing and you want to let them go now. Maybe it's your legs, maybe are your glutes or your lower back. You just try to let go. If you find that you cannot release your muscles, maybe you need to bring your posture a little higher. Maybe you have to place more props under your leg so that you can truly let go here. And so, yes, the stretch is not going to be that obvious, that intense. But remember, in restorative yoga, we are not aiming for deep sensations. Actually, the opposite. We're trying to calm the mind, and we're trying to open up the channels of energy, the nadis. So these gentle postures will allow us to do just that. Once you find that posture that is comfortable, start focusing once more on your jellyfish, if that visualization worked for you. Now, it is full moon, so you can now visualize your jellyfish, a glowing in the dark kind of jellyfish, with a full moon, or whatever works for you. Just try to continue to breathe deeply and expand into your belly, and let it contract as you exhale. You may focus on the left side of the body a little more, as this is the line that we are working right now, your Ida Nadi. If you like mudras, you can go into Gyan Mudra, thumbs and index touching, extending all other 3 fingers. Very basic mudra, yet very powerful, very grounding, and it also promotes Dirga Pranayama, the 3-part breath. Notice if there are parts of the body where the breath gets stuck. And try to focus on this area every time you breathe in and out. And see, you can work through that spot and send the breath farther down. Especially when you exhale, focus on that area so that you release all those blockages, energetic blockages along your nadi, along your energetic channel. You are welcome to stay here for the last bit of this pose, or if your hips are looking for a little more, you may extend your left leg over your prop, resting your foot towards the floor. So this will give you a deeper extension through your IT. You might get the stretch into your glutes, so make sure this feels all right. You're not overdoing it and it's not pinching onto your hip. Breathe deeply once you get there. And if that doesn't work, keep stacking your knees and your feet. That's okay. Gonna take 2 more breaths here, full deep breaths. And when you are ready, bring your nose back to center if you were looking sideways. Bring your foot on top of the other. Stack your knees once again. And when you're ready, return to center. Adjust your body at the center, extend your legs, release your mudra, observe your breath. Notice if you catch any difference between left and right. when you are ready, be mindful. Bend your knees again. Bring your footstools on the floor. Pass your prop on the other side. And at your own time, T-position of the arms and let your knees fall towards the left. So once again, we stack the feet. We relax our posture, T-position, and Gyan Mudra, if you are practicing your mudra, gaze maybe towards the right this time. And once more, we try to relax every corner of the body. Relax your feet, your legs, relax your glutes. If you find that it's not easy for you to relax, then perhaps you want to think about bringing your prop a little higher so that you can really relax, breathe. Rising and falling. Or if you're doing your visualization, your jellyfish is falling and rising. Think about your diaphragm expanding on the inhalation, moving down. And on the exhalation, moving up. Squeezing all the air out. Now you can stay here if this posture is okay for you. For the last bits of the pose, you can adjust and relax in the same position, or you may extend that or cross over that right leg, resting it on your props. And this is only an option. It will give you a deeper extension through your glute, through the side of your leg, through your hips. So make sure it feels right. And then breathe deeply. You may focus on the right side, expanding into your right rib cage, all the way down into your belly. We're gonna take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you're ready, stack your feet, your knees again. Release your mudra, nose towards the center, feet on the floor, and bring your knees up. Readjust at the center of the mat. Extend your legs and observe. You're gonna take one more breath, full deep breath, and when you are ready, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, move your feet side to side and your hands, and you may stretch your arms overhead and squeeze every muscle, squeeze your bum tight, 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 prune face. Exhale, release. Let's do it again. Flex or point and squeeze every muscle. Exhale, release. One more, squeeze and tense, tight, 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 tight. And let all tension go. Bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor and swing your knees once again, side to side. Your arms can be overhead or at a T position. If you need a deeper extension along your back, you are welcome to bring your knees towards the chest. You can hold onto the strap. You can hold onto the back of your legs. You can also hold onto your knees, your shins, or keep your feet on the floor, whatever works. When you are ready, come back to center, rest your feet on the ground, and move onto your favorite side. Lay in a fetal position for a few moments. Use your top hand to slowly help yourself up. Awesome. You can take your strap out of the way and come up onto your seated position. So for your seated position, you can sit on your bolster. You can sit on your props, your blocks. If you have blocks at home, you could also have a blanket under your legs. Just adjust yourself so that you can tilt your pelvis slightly forward. And if you're near your chair, if you had the chair, you work with the chair, just have it handy in case you want to use it. So the first thing we want to do is extend the right leg out to the right. You don't want to go too wide on your extension. So remember, we're not seeking for the deepest of our extension. We want to find that center place where we can relax. Then bring your left foot sole to the inner thigh, on the right inner thigh, against it. Your other blanket can be under your knee. If you find it that extending the leg straight down on the floor is too much. Okay, so here is where we're gonna get that gentle stretch and release. You're gonna hinge your body forward and either have your bolster, if you have one of those big bolsters that are thick and firm, you can have it in front of you, hug it, and rest your forehead against your bolster. So that will work for some of you. If you do not have a bolster, worry not. You can have your chair. I'm gonna have it this way so you can actually see. You can interlace your fingers and rest your forehead, and then start moving the chair away from you until you find that place that works for your hip and it works for your leg and your knee. And relax here. Relax your foot. When you look at your foot, if you have the tendency of allow the knee to go, the hip to roll out, if your hip externally rotates, your foot is gonna start pushing out to the side or just falling out to the side. So if you wanna work with the alignment factor of this, you can allow your toes to point up and then relax them forward. So then your hip is more in a neutral position. Release your jaw, forehead down. If this is too much, you could also have your bolster on top of the chair and come a little higher. So truly no right or wrong. Some of you who are quite flexible and need a little more, it is okay. There's nothing wrong. If you want to go lower, that's fine. But as long as this going lower doesn't mean that you are into a place where it's too intense. Once you find your position, relax and let go. You're gonna keep your back neutral. I'm gonna put equal weight on left and right. whichever version you chose for this pose, make sure that you have contact, like you're connecting the forehead with either your hands, the floor, or the prop, depending on your body. But do have that gentle stimulation of your Ajna chakra, just to quiet your mind. This is the point where we can also stimulate the pituitary gland, and so that we can tone the nervous system. And we're already doing that with the breath. We're gonna take one more breath here, full deep breath. And as you are ready, gonna press your arms down on your prop, or if you have your chair, come up to an upright slowly and relax your shoulders back and down. Take your time to free yourself from the position, so bring that left knee up, extend your leg forward, help that right leg to the center, extend your leg and shake the tension and move your feet side to side. If you used a blanket under your knee, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So extend that left leg out to the left. Remember, we're not going to the deepest extension. And bring your foot sole, the right foot sole, against your inner thigh. Neutralize your hip if you're working with that. And find your center. And once you find that place where you feel the weight distributed evenly on left and right, hinge right from the creases of the legs, keeping your pelvis and your back neutral. Then maybe cross your arms and rest your forehead down if you are using your chair, or whatever you did on the other side, you're gonna try to stay even. It might not work. Sometimes we work first with the dominant side, and then when we get to the other side, might not work quite as deep, and that's okay. Just adjust and work with what this side is giving you. And try to let go of that picture that you might have for this one side, and continue to breathe deeply. Make sure this is not pinching your knee or your hip. And as always, you want to pad your posture, like when you go just on Sukhasana. If you need extra props under your knees or under your hips, please take them and adjust. I'm gonna take one more breath here, full deep breath. And when you're ready, very mindfully push yourself up, coming up on an upright position, knee up, extend your leg. Be careful when you bring that extended leg towards you. Release forward, shake, and move side to side. All right, so if you were working with the blanket under the knees, you may want to use blankets for both knees. We're gonna extend both legs out to the sides, not too wide, just comfortably. Remove the extra flesh from underneath. Neutralize your hips if you're doing that. And once again, we're gonna hinge right from the hips. Lean forward. Make sure that you have removed the extra flesh from underneath. And take your prop once again. Bring it closer to you. Relax your toes forward. Bring your forehead down. And so once you find that position that works for you, you check in with your hips, with your back, how far into the stretch you're going to go. Don't let your mind wander. Think about letting your chest move down towards the floor. Deep breathing. Take one more breath here, full deep breath. And very mindfully, bring yourself out of the posture, push yourself up. And help your legs to the front and shake the tension off. Move your feet side to side. Perfect. Now, take your blankets. If you have a bolster at home, you're going to have your bolster handy. If you don't have one at home, then we're going to make one. So if you have 2 or 3 blankets, we're going to fold them lengthwise. And just make yourself a long and thick noodle. It doesn't have to be too high. And you're going to place it on the mat, just along the mat. Have your bolster handy in case you want it. And when you are ready, going to move slightly away from that little bolster, just so that you can allow your lumbar spine to be more neutral. So if you want to go against it, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes the lumbar spine won't like that. So maybe having more neutrality here. And then let your head fall back. If you have an extra prop for under the head, you're going to place it under the head, a block or a pillow, or you're going to extend the neck and trying to find that elongation of the cervical spine. Then extend your legs. You can bring them wide apart, hands by your sides, palms facing up, and let go here. If you want, you can bring your arms towards the upper corners of the mat and breathe. The prop will give you a more intense stretch, so if it's not feeling so well, you can either walk your body lower so that the prop is more towards the upper back, but then watch it for the neck, place a prop under it, or make your own support with your blankets. If you want to go into butterfly position here, you're welcome to do that. Bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor, and then let your knees flare as your foot soles meet together right at the center. If this is okay, you can stay here, relax, and breathe. If there are no neck concerns and you would like to try something a little deeper, you can stay here, by the way, especially if there are neck concerns or back concerns. Otherwise, if you want to try something else, we're going to move sideways and move the support across the mat. So all that stretching that we did first, it will prepare us for Matsyasana, or the fish pose. So we'll have that jellyfish visualization. So you want to bring the prop or the bolster on the upper back and maybe allow your shoulders to move towards the floor. You can either rest the back of the head on the floor, or if you are on the bolster, you may rest the crown of the head towards the floor, but without putting any pressure on the neck. If there are any neck concerns, don't do this version. Let's try to rest the back of the head on the floor. You can go back onto your butterfly position if you were doing that, or you can extend your legs on the mat. Your arms can go at a T position, or they can go overhead. Once again, it all depends on your back and your neck and your shoulders and your hips and your whole body. Breathe. If you are on the first version of this back bend, you can find your way onto your side and remove your prop, return straight back on the floor. Remember that we're not doing this version if you have any neck concerns, unless you have done it in class and it feels okay, and that you can adjust your neck into neutrality. If you're doing the Matsyasana or the fish version, you're going to gently come out of it. You can use your hands, slightly tuck your chin, pass your hands behind your head, and then rest the back of the head on the floor. Be super gentle with the neck. These stretches, they all look so simple, but they can be very intense for some of us, so watch it. Now, if you are flat on the floor and playing Shavasana, or you have your prop like I have right now across the mat, we're gonna extend the arms overhead if the shoulders allow. If you are on the bolster, maybe at a V shape will do, depending what the arms will allow. And then see if you can walk your feet towards the right side of the mat. Like if you were trying to bring your feet to the right corner of the mat, some of you will put the feet on the corner of the mat, some of you will go a little deeper. Feel the extension through the left side, the gentle contraction through the right. And although you're putting the mat on your thoracic spine, make sure it's not pinching anything. Maybe bring your left ankle over the right. Feel the stretch a little deeper on your hip, and this is only an option. Maybe gaze to the left. Maybe keep your nose up, pointing up, and breathe. You can hold onto your left wrist if you want with your right hand to get a deeper extension through the left. Breathe deeply. You don't have to move your upper body. You keep your upper body on the prop as you had. That's just the arm that is doing the extra to get that stretch through the armpit, through that left rib cage. With control, uncross your legs, release your wrist, and walk your feet slowly back to center. And take a few moments, move your nose back to center if you were looking sideways. You can bring your arms by your sides to relax your shoulders for a little bit. And then when you are ready, reach your arms overhead once more and start walking your feet towards the left corner of the mat. And some of you will go beyond the corner, some of you won't. And then maybe cross that right ankle over the left or stay down. Just check what works for you. Deep breathing here. If you choose, hold onto your left wrist, stretching a little deeper through the left side of the body. And I meant right wrist with the left hand. And when you are ready, you're gonna mindfully uncross your legs, release your wrist, walk your feet back to center. Awesome. Observe. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you're ready, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor. If you have a prop under your back, you're gonna turn to your side and take the bolster out of the way, or the bolster. And then return to center if you were already on the floor, with your back on the floor. From here, we're gonna swing the knees side to side once again, just like we did at the beginning of the practice. And just pay attention what your hips are saying. You can keep your feet together and stack them just to compare the sensations. You can bring your feet wider apart. And some of you might enjoy bringing your feet really wide apart to get a deeper extension through the quad, the hip flexor, gentle demand on your lower back. And when you are ready, come back to center. If there are any other stretches that your body might be craving for, you're welcome to get them done now. When you're ready, return to your Shavasana. And from here, after balancing the pelvis and the shoulders, we're gonna go on to our final butterfly position, or Supta Baddha Konasana. Pubic bone, hip bones are balanced, rib cage is grounded. Cervical spine is long, but not flat on the floor. Breathe. Notice the quality of your breath after you unclog your nadis, your channels of energy. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you're ready, bring your knees up and extend your legs. Push your heels away and relax. You can pause your video if you need more Shavasana time. Otherwise, wiggle your toes and fingers. Move your feet side to side. Move your hands. Stretch your arms overhead and tense and squeeze. Tight, tight, tight. Hold, stretch, and release. Again, flex or point and squeeze every muscle. Tight, tight, tight. Prune face. And release. Last one, make it count. Point or flex and squeeze. And exhale, release. Move on to your favorite side. Lay on a fetal position. Take a few moments here. Use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. And find your comfortable seated position, maybe cross-legged, maybe sitting on your heels, whatever works for you. Bring your hands together at the center of the heart, shoulders back and down. Relax your jaw and your face, and observe your breath for a few moments. We're going to seal our practice with the sound and vibration of Om. We'll take a breath together first. Inhale deeply, expand. Exhale. Inhale to Om. Relax your jaw, your face. Inhale deeply, expand. Side out. Again, inhale. Side out. Last one, inhale. Let all tension out. Tuck your chin onto your chest and blink your eyes open. Rub your hands together. Shower yourself with your own good vibes and shake off tensions and stresses that you don't need anymore. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, yogis. Happy full moon. Namaste.